Okay, I think we have checked, all of you. Okay, now let's see the tropic level. So the tropic level, we can represent it by ecology pyramid that consists of pyramid, the pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy based on the study parameter. So normally from the first tropic level is, what we call that is, here is Malay, so we should use, this one is, we call this as a producer, while for this one should be consumer. So we have consumer, primary consumer, secondary, and tertiary normally. All right. So now let's see the this one. I think I have to check first. Wait. So that it's easier for you to read. All right, for the first one, the lowest part, okay, lowest part, it will represent the first tropic level, or we call producer. While second lower part and above is actually the second tropic level and higher, or we call that as consumer, just like I said. So now, for the pyramid of number, so each part of them, it represent the number of organisms for each tropic level. Okay, so the higher the part in the pyramid, the lesser the number of organisms for that respective tropic level. So, however, the shape might terbalik. The pyramid might terbalik into Tao San Jiao, means that the we call, I don't know the Malay and the English. Okay, the terbalik one, where the lower at the bottom when is inverted when the producer is a big tree. Why? Because when the ecosystem is the big tree, how many producers we have? Only one, right? But actually, can we consider that only one producer? No, because it involves the leaves. Okay, but in size, we only focus on organism. So leaves is organ. So that's why it might be inverted. Okay. Now, for the pyramid of biomass, okay, each part of the will represent the total of biomass of organism for each level. So the higher the part, the lesser the biomass. We are talking about the total biomass. Is the number of organisms multiplied with their mass. Okay, so the total biomass will be lesser. Why? Because the number is lesser. Okay, so the shape also might inverted when the producer is phytoplankton, because phytoplankton is very light, the mass is very small, so that's why it might be terbalik as well. Then the last one, pyramid of energy, where each of them will represent the available energy of the organism for each tropic level. So the higher the part in the pyramid, the lesser the energy of the organism for that respective tropic level. So, however, this one, the shape will not inverted. Why? Because the energy loss while flowing towards the higher tropic level normally is fixed. How many? The energy loss is 90%. Remember, from each tropic level, it will lose 90% of that previous topic level. Only 10% is transferred from the tropic level to the next. Then the next one, another 10 from that 10%. So means that if in total only 1% will transfer like that. Can you understand? Dimitri, Sihao, Wenhong. Okay, Sihao, no problem, Okay, good. So wait now. I think this one is quite important So I guess you better jot this down. Only these three. You know the name, pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of this what you call energy. Okay, can I jot this down? Okay, and wait for what? I want to find my number and discuss something. Done. Okay, now so forget my hand. Yeah. You. All right, now. Oh, we biết Dustin là ba? Okay, so let's see the next one. Okay, so now this is the following. This one shows the types of interaction. Okay, among the biotic component, we have symbiosis, where symbiosis is actually the interaction between normally a host and the one we won't call it common parasite, but we will say someone, I don't know, the one is called host, 一个是叫 host and I forget the name already. Symbiont, is it? Yeah, symbiont, yes. Okay, it's between a symbiont. It can be parasite. It can be normal mutualism one, or it can a commensal one. So normally it's that one, the one that lay off or live on the host is called symbiont. Okay, so we have parasitism, mutualism. Mutualism is a win-win situation, and commensalism is normally one win, one gain nothing. Okay, now then we have subprofitism. It's actually the decay. Okay, breakdown. Okay, and then we have a competition. Competition, we have intra-species competition. Intra-species is same species. Okay, interspecies competition is different species. Okay, 我这些有华语的啊，你们自己看哦。And then we have predation. Predation is the predator and prey. Now let's see the parasitism one. Okay, 寄生。哎呦。Now, parasite will obtain benefit from the host, and the host is harm. So there are two types of parasite. We have endo and ecto. Endo means inner, so it lives inside. Ecto is living outside. So endoparasite lives inside the host body, where ectoparasite live outside the host body. So the example of endo, like tapeworm, which attached to the lining of the host, is in his small intestines to get the nutrient. Then the example of ecto, like the hairless, live in human's head to feed on the host blood. Okay, sometimes same this list will also live on your pet. Okay, your pet, dogs. Okay. Then we have the second one, commensalism. Okay, commensalism is one gain, one no gain. Okay, no gain, no harm. So commensal will get benefits, while the host will neither get benefit or no harm. Okay, so for example, the remora fish, okay, is a commensal attached to shark. Shark is the host, okay, so that it can get the leftover food, transport, and protection. Like the pigeon orchid, as a commensal, will live under other plant to get more sunlight and rainwater. Most of the orchid are commensal. Okay, others like barnacles attached to the whale's body or crab. Okay, this one is the one that you know. Okay, I can show you a barnacles. This one. Although it's called commensal, but actually if too much, it will actually harm the host. So some people say they are parasites, some people say they are commensal. Okay, but he did not harm the skin at all. Actually, they just stay on it. It's just that when too much of them, then it will cause harm to the host. Yeah. So then mutualism. Now for mutualism is win-win situation. So both get the benefits. Like for example, rhizobium. He lives in the roots of the nodule of leguminous plant, where he helped to fix the nitrogen in the atmosphere to nitrate, so that to be absorbed by the root. So at the same time, rhizobium SP will obtain the shelter and nutrient from the root of the leguminous plant. Leguminous plant are those that you eat the root, like your potatoes, right? Peanuts. Okay. Then, like oxpecker, obtain food, ticks from buffalo, while the buffalo benefits from tick removal. Okay, ticks are something looks like fly, but he will absorb blood. Okay, and then like we have lichen, the algae and fungi, and sea anemone and hermit crab. Okay, lichens, sea anemone and hermit crab, sea anemone and clownfish. The sea anemone are the looks like plant one. Anemone, sorry, but not anemone, anemone. This one normally grows on the hermit crab or the what you call. Normally they are and also corals. Okay, but it's a animal, although looks like plant. I think there's a Pokemon looks like that. Is it the crab with two mushroom? I think something like that. I don't know. Then saprophytism, which is the decomposer. So it's an interaction where the living organism obtain nutrient from dead or decaying organism. Like saprophytic bacteria or fungi will secrete the enzyme so that to digest the complex organic compound in the dead or decaying organism into a simpler nutrient. Where this one is the enzyme is released outside of the saprophyte. Okay, so the simpler nutrient then will be absorbed into the saprophyte, like the mushroom and bread mold. Okay, next, predation. This one should be the most how to say easiest one that you can see. Okay, which is the interaction between the prey and predator, where predator hunts and kill the prey. Okay, predator hunts and kill prey as the food. So this interaction is important. Why? This is to maintain the population of prey and predator in a dynamic equilibrium. You can't keep growing and grow and grow. If you keep growing, the ecosystem will be disrupted. Okay? So for example, like the owl and eagles as predator, rat, snake, rabbit, and others as prey, especially eagle. It can catch, I think, a normal eagle, the one with a white head, I think he can catch a small sheep, I think. Should be no problem. By flying down and catch. Okay, so that's why there are some places where those big size eagle, they are actually will able to catch the small kid, the toddlers. Okay, but normally they won't, because compared to those like sheep and others, right? They have more meat composition compared to human. Human, our bone actually take up quite a lot of the percentage. So normally you see, like the tiger, they all won't attack human. Normally, even the snake won't the ulasawa, the python, they won't like go and fight the human first. No, normally they will go and fight those like the cow, the dogs, right? Because their meat composition is more. They are not stupid as well. Okay, so next, competition. Okay, now for competition, okay, normally it involves those that lives, the organism that lives in the same habitat and compete for those living, we call the living factors like food, water, light, and also space. And sometimes even for their, we call this as their pairs. Okay, means their wife or something like that. Okay, so first let us see the intra-species. Okay, intra-specific competition is actually among the organism of same species. They also compete for mating. Like I said just now, compete for mating. The name is called mating. Okay, not in addition of food source and living space. While for interspecies, normally is a competition among the organism of different species for the food source, all this. Normally the mating not involved. Okay. Now, let's see the wait. All right, so let's see for the ecosystem in mangrove. Okay, the ecosystem in mangrove. Now, mangrove normally form in at the what you call river mouth. Okay, or the confluence of river and tidal seawater. Confluence means that the uh, the the crash. I mean not crash, pertemuan within the sea and the Muara Sungai lah, in short. Okay, so the abiotic component of this mangrove is they have a muddy soil, which is less aeration for the gaseous exchange and not suitable for seed germination. Why? Because it is a hypertonic environment due to full of salt. Okay, wait, I try to. Because of too much salt and lack of nutrient. Okay, so then at the same time, the wave and tidal fluctuation and muddy soil will also cause less support for the tree because first, muddy area is not stable. Okay, it's not like the normal soil. So the grip of root is not strong. At the same time, when there is a tidal wave and also the sea wave comes in, the trees or the plants in mangrove will tend to facing the impact from the water, the sea water. Okay, that's why these two cause less support for the tree. And due to this one, there will be a change of salt in water during the tidal fluctuation. When the tidal wave coming, so it will cover the whole mangrove area with the seawater. So at that time, the concentration of salt higher or lower? Higher. Now, when the tidal going back, now the seawater is less, so the salt level will lower. So this is why there is a change of concentration of salt. And the surrounding solution normally is hypertonic, like I said, is hypertonic to the plant cell. So normal plant will tend to release or absorb water. No, will release because the surrounding is more hypertonic to the plant. Right? So it will tend to release the water. The cell will tend to release water. And at the same time, because it's at the seaside, normally it's near to the sea, so no covering. Sun ray will be directly they were directly exposed to sunlight. So the temperature will be higher and the light intensity is higher as well. So it will be a water loss due to the high rate of transpiration. Okay. So now, because the mangrove consists of two main ecosystems, we have a terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. Terrestrial ecosystem are those on the land, okay? Because it's a muddy, we have land and water together, okay? So that's why they are actually rich in biodiversity. So the component here involved, like producer, is made up of autotrophs like various mangrove tree, phytoplankton, and seaweed. They are the main food source for the food web in terrestrial and also the aquatic ecosystem. The consumer normally are made up of heterotroph like various birds, monkeys, insects, fish, lizards, and crocodiles. Of course, the strongest predator normally in the mangrove area will be crocodiles because there are so many types of the predator. The most suitable one here will be crocodile because they will be able to they can live both sides, land or water, and at the same time they are the strong one of the higher predator, and then they are they can live in this kind of high humidity area. Okay, so they are interacted by symbiosis, competition, and predation. Now let's see the detritus feeder. Okay, detritus feeder are the, what you call that? Normally are heterotroph as well, made up of worms, horseshoe crabs, prawns, and crabs. Okay, they decompose the organic substances from dead and decaying organism. Okay, while the decomposer made up of bacteria and fungi, they decompose organic substance from dead and decaying organism. Okay, and what you call, they return, and both of these return the nutrient into the soil and water. So it's different. Detritus feeder, they will eat the, what you call, they will eat. Means that there is a process of eating or consume. They are consumer. Okay, it's just that they consume the carcasses or the organic compounds. While for the decomposer, normally they will release the enzyme. Like just how we show up, they will release the enzyme, and then the digestion actually will do outside the body. But the detritus feeder, the digestion is doing inside or outside. Like crab, all these are inside the body. Okay, so with this, we go to the what you call that, the colonizations of and the successions in this mangrove. Now, colonizations is actually a process in which a plant species colonize a new place which has no plant. So they are the first batch comes in. Okay, they are the first batch comes in. Normally, they will be at the seaside. The seaside one will be the colonization, where the colonizations happen. So normally, the first batch is called, okay, the plant which begin to colonize a new place, we call it as a pioneer species. The first batch. Then after that, when the first batch there, they have roots, right? And when the tidal wave come out and down, up and down, those mud or sand will be sent to the mangrove area, correct? And get grabbed by the pioneer. So with this, the land altitude will become higher and higher. 因为它的那个根部会抓住那个泥，对吗？你冲上来的时候 ，when the tiger comes in, there will be like the organic compound, sand, sometimes even soil. So the pioneer species, they will grip the land, correct? So what happened when more and more sand and this soil comes in? Will the mangrove remain as mangrove? It will start to become flattened, and then the aeration, the the what you call, the altitude will become higher and higher. 对吧？因为它抓住越来越多的泥嘛，所以它的高度水平线 ，I mean the distance from the sea level will become higher and higher because the more the tree is, the more it will grab the, right? So then, is it still suitable for the pioneer species? Because there's a habitat change. Now, when the habitat change, new plants comes in because it's no longer suitable for pioneer. Right? So succession comes in. It's a process of substitution of a dominant plant species with another plant species gradually. Okay, now the second one comes in, correct? So now the seaside become going further to the sea, correct? Because the pioneer now already been successful. So now there is the new area, something like that. Okay, at first this one is a pioneer species, correct? Then after that he grab until like this one looks like a mid zone. So now the area is become mid zone. So this one here become the what you call that, the seaward zone again. So the pioneer species now goes here. So that's why somehow looks like, if you look like from the seaside come here, it's like the zone is becoming near going out and out to the seaside until there's no space anymore. Correct? So this is how the successive comes in. Correct? Understand? So at first the seaside, the seaward zone, the first seaward zone should come here. Then, after some time, the mid zone comes in. This prep roots one comes in. So now here become the new seaward zone. Then this one become the landward zone. This one become the mid zone. Now the pioneer goes here. This one become the new seaward zone and become like this. Can you understand? 可以理解 ？OK 啊，4号可以明白啊 ？Can you understand？Justin 可以明白啊？它是这样子的。Okay. At first, this is the first one, right? Now, when this one getting at least this high, 它本来是这样高而已。The what we call that? We call the now. At first, it's like this. Okay. Now, so the first one. So this is the pioneer species comes in. After some time, it will grab more and more land. Correct. Correct. It will become more and more. So now, become higher. Now this one from pioneer is shift to mid zone. Mid zone. Now this one now become very high. So now this one become the pioneer. The seaward zone already. New seaward zone. So second seaward zone comes in. Correct? Then this one now is mid zone. But then it will still grab more and more the soil. Correct? Now this one become mid zone already, while this one become even more higher. So it's already now the landward zone. Right? So landward zone, mid zone. Now here, this one will be the new seaward zone. Can you understand? So the process is actually, although like this is seaward, blah, 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 but the process is really starting from here. Can you understand? Because it gets more and more like, actually this is at first, the initial level. More and more has been grabbed, so it becomes higher and higher. So the land will expand outer and outer and further outer away. Can you understand? Okay, so this is how it happens. Okay, now, so the substitution one, the one that species that replace the dominant plant species, we call it as a successor species. So you have 4 zones here. Okay, climax community from the inner one we start. Okay, then landward zone, mid zone, and the seaward zone. So some of the what you call it, the characteristic involved. For the seaward zone, normally is pneumatophore. They have pneumatophore, 气根, the root that used to breathe. Why? Because most of it are underwater. So that's why they need more thing to breathe. So that's why they have pneumatophore. Then in the mid zone you see they have a prop root where the root is actually the buttress is actually above the sand. Why? Because it's like a chuchuk, many tajam chuchuk inside. So the grip is stronger. Then after that, you see the landward zone, then they will start with knee root, and then the one that more nearer will be the buttress root that we see on normal tree. You understand? So means that, okay, this one success this one, this one success this one, this one success this one. So who is the pioneer? This one. They are the starting one. Can you understand? All right. Can Dimitri, 文宏，还有4号。All right. Now, so let's see all these what I call the first one, the seaward zone. Wait, please allows me to delete all the. All right, first let's see the seaward zone. seaward zone, okay, their pioneers is the pioneer species is Avicennia and Soneratia. Okay, so normally Avicennia, okay, grow in the region facing to sea. Soneratia normally grow in the Lima mouth. Muara Sungai lah. Okay, so what happened to the adaptation of leaf? Normally, this kind of leaf has succulent leaves, sunken stomata, thick cuticle. Why? This is to conserve the water by reducing the water loss. Okay, because salty area concentration high, and near to the seaside very dry. So this is to reduce the rate of transpiration. And then the leaf surface has a salt excluding gland to excrete the excessive salt out of the tree. Okay, so for their seed, what's okay, for the adaptation of seed, they have a viviparous seed. Okay, viviparous seed is the seed that only germinating while attached to the parent's plant. I don't know whether they draw here. Let me check. Oh, I think they never draw here. Let us see your textbook. I don't know. Viviparous seed are like that. Looks like this. So they germinate first when attached in the what you call, when attached in the still attached to the parent. Then after they drop down, it's tajam, drop down, directly sunken to the what you call, to the soil, so they can produce green. Okay, can All right, so this is why this one happened. This is to ensure the seedling can continue to survive in the region of the muddy soil. Now, for the adaptation of root. Okay, the root cell can maintain high salt concentration in the cell site, so that the water can diffuse into the root by osmosis. Means that they keep more salt inside, so that the concentration inside the plant always very high. Okay, but too much salt actually will cause some effect. So they need the the leaves to release the excessive salt. Okay, and the pioneer species normally have pneumatophore, which grown upward from the main root to penetrate the muddy soil. Why? This one pneumatophore is to enable gaseous exchange between the underground root and the surrounding through the lenticles. Okay, now the widespread cable root system of the pioneer species will trap mud and silt as well as the organic matter from the decaying plant part. Okay, so this is why they need the widespread one. So when it's spreading longer, the more it spread, the exposed surface area is higher. So more mud and silt can be kept. The silt are those like, you know, some looks like mud, but they are actually the organic compound. Okay. And also at the same time, they will provide the support to the pioneer species that grow on the soft muddy soil. And this causes the soil become firmer and less waterlogged, and the bank is slightly raised. So that's from here, after it raised high enough, more soil enough, it will become from seaward to mid zone. Okay, so now by this, okay, the successor species comes in because it no longer salty, so it will favor another kind of mangrove tree, which is the Rhizophora species, to be the successor species. So gradually the succession occur in which a successor Rhizophora replace the pioneer species. Okay, it starts with 1, 2, 4, more and more. Then bye-bye the pioneer species. Now the pioneer species will be all halal to the new seaward zone. Okay, now next mid zone. Now it becomes mid zone already. Okay, remember now the initial, the first seaward zone become mid zone. New seaward zone comes in. So what happened here is now this one here is Rhizophora. They are the dominant species. Dominant means that most of the plant are there. So they have similar adaptive characteristic of leaves and seed germination as the pioneer species, because the changes of habitat is not that big. So some of the adaptation characteristic is still the same. Okay, now but they use prop or silted root system, because so it will continue to trap more leaves, silt, and mud, and also the humus from the pioneer species. Humus are those when the plant die, right? The tree will become very pieces to pieces up. That one is humus. So with this, the soil become firmer and more fertile, and the bank again raised even more higher. So with this, now Buguera SP comes in. Okay, so the succession occur in which the Buguera species succeed the Rhizophora species. When most of them change to Buguera or Hericella, now this mid zone become landward zone. Okay, now it becomes landward zone, where landward zone is Buguera species and Hericella species. Okay, they have a similar adaptive characteristic of leaves and seed germination, okay, as the other mangrove tree, but they have knee root system of Buguera, where it enables gaseous exchange to take place through the lenticels. And for Hericella, they have buttress root, which can support huge and taller trees. So now the old shore is further away from the sea. Okay, means that because it's now expanding, correct? When this one now become the landward zone, before this the new seaward zone become mid zone, and when mid zone comes in, new mid zone comes in, there will be another new seaward zone again. So it becomes further and further away. Okay, so eventually a climax community will be formed. Okay, when climax community form, no more succession, because it means that during the climax community, most of it are the land plant, the plant on land. Okay, now let's see the climax community, which is the normal forest. So in Malaysia, we are the tropical rainforest. Okay, Malaysia, our climax community are the tropical rainforest. So the tree will continue to live. This tree will continue to live if there's no disease, infection, blah blah blah. Okay, as long as there is no disruption, they will continue to live. Like more than 100 years, thousands of years, if you can. Nowadays very hard. More than almost 100 years, they already cut off already. Okay. So any question? No, understand? So now let's see the importance of this mangrove system. Why mangrove system is important? Very tired, right? This one, I don't like. I don't like this one. After the what you call, normally after the plant cell all thingy, this one I don't like because this one looks a bit boring. It's all about half hour only, memorize. Now, for the zone of S as a zone of protection, because it can be a secure habitat for all it can be the habitat of various organism species, especially those who like crabs. You need mangrove because in mangrove you will live more what you call the big crab, the one that with meat, not the one that we eat. Something like that. The one with the one with after you steam red color and then they're more meat. If those are sea crab, normally very less one. The meat very less. Unless you are talking about the king crab. King crab different because you live under the Alaska one, under the what you call deep sea. Deep sea crab, of course, normally big, but nowadays many die already. No longer, unless you are buying the plant. Not we call the farming one. There's Alaska crab farming. Okay, like now they do to the frog, and also I think Norway also do it for the salmon as well. Okay. Most of the Norwegian salmon you eat nowadays are no longer wildlife one. They are actually the under the farming one. Okay, now why? Because and also it can be the natural buffer zone. Okay, why? To reduce the speed and strength of wave and wind towards the land. Because the plant will able to stop it's like a big cover will able to slow down the wind after they pass through. Okay, and it become a protective place for flies. Okay, prawns and crabs from the predator. As a protective place as well for various species of bird that migrate. And also a nursery. Nursery is actually the place for the animal to give birth. Okay, to lay off their eggs, something like that. And mangrove tree can reduce the carbon footprint because it can store because it store carbon 3 to 5 times more than the terrestrial plant. Means that the normal plant on land, okay, the photosynthesis rate is actually 3 to 5 times lower than the mangrove tree. Okay, so now, last time when I was still in Sekinjan, when I was your age, when you go to Pasir Berambang, there's a place where those people go to Kuala Selangor to eat seafood, so-called. Actually, it's full of mangrove. Before this, nowadays you no longer see. Don't even see a tree plant as well. My time, all are the mangrove tree. But last time the mangrove trees trunks are very expensive, so people cut like that. And then, as the source of fishery, okay, we have seafoods like fish, prawns, crabs, and clams. Clams 就是那种贝壳类the one with shell, like the one that I don't know. They are part of the clams as well. And then they will help to promote the fish farming industry. Okay, and as the food preservative, which is rich in organic substance for crabs and prawns. Because crabs and prawns are like we just now say, they are those who eat the carcasses actually. They are not eating the live one. I don't know why. The leaf organism, no, they're actually eating the dead one. Maybe because of the moving speed is too slow. Okay. And then they can be a source of forestry charcoal. Okay. Mangrove tree charcoal are very expensive. Not the one that you can buy nowadays. That one is different. And the one hollow one is even different. That one is very cheap. If the real mangrove charcoal is very expensive nowadays. Less. When you have what lack in the market, normally it's very expensive. Okay, it can be used as a wood-based handicraft. Nowadays, I don't think people use that one. The cost is too high. Okay, and then as the alternatives, a timber source for carpentry, sampan, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like I said before this, they are very expensive because they're widely used in construction. Before this, we didn't use the, we didn't use the what I call the metal bar, as the base. Normally they use the mangrove tree trunk last time. Nowadays cannot already because mangrove tree trunk is strong. Yeah, and it's very, how to say, it's not easy to break. They are very, we won't say elastic, we say it's a, how to say? Yes, high strength, stiffness, yes. And as the source of food, of course, seafood and the mangrove harvest as the food source, okay? And then as a source of medicine, like the leaves of Avicennia, Rhizopora, and Bugera, they have the antibacterial substances. And the bugs of the Bugera, we use it to treat diarrhea. And other as well, like skin, arthritis, asthma, and inflammation. They are using some of them, they are using the extract as the medicine. And of course, ecotourism. Okay, because they have the various kind of organism species which can attract tourism, and as a habitat of fireflies as well. Okay, and also there's an activity of processing charcoal. The processing charcoal, I forget, is Bukit Kailin Tama, is it? The name? I forget, I went one before. If you go to Kuala Sepetang, I think there's one there. I forget the place already. That place, I think, is called Kuala Sepetang, I think. The one with mangrove zone together with the charcoal factory. Normally, okay? Any questions? No? All right. If no, then I think OK 啱啱啦，7:30 OK Dimitri 你刚好可以先下课，因为我给他们做功课先。
OK， 拜拜，老师。
好，拜拜。Okay, so let us see some question. Wait, this one is chapter 9, is it? Yeah, 9. All right, try this. Can see clearly? Like this kind of. All right, how to do this? 嗯，P30P 的 expect 哦，嗯，这个哦，什么方面可以影响啊？ 好啊，好，简单的说，4号码就知道。哦，sorry。All right, now let's see the answer. So, give the definition of each of the following for species is a group of similar organisms that can interbreed with each other and produce offspring. Population is a group of organisms of same species but live in a same habitat. And community is different types of organisms that live in the same habitat and interact with each other. Okay. Now, in an ecosystem, a biotic component interact with each other as well as with other surrounding factors. So give one example of an interaction that occur in a grass field. Like, for example, grass field. So biotic and biotic component is grasshopper eat grass, bird eat grasshopper. Biotic and abiotic component like grass absorb water from the soil, plants absorb sunlight for photosynthesis. Any other? Almost similar. Okay, almost similar there. Okay. Now, number 3. Explain how an aspect can affect the distribution of organism in ecosystem. So aspect, oh, sorry, aspect, how to say, they are actually, aspect refers now, this one is affects to the direction in which wind blows and the ray of sunlight. It's actually the one of the example. Or the mountain slope, which receive more rain and sunlight has more abundant grass. Okay, aspect are those factors that will affect the distribution of organism. Okay, you can we should say example of aspect. Okay, like that. And number 4, the pyramid of numbers shows the relationship between trophic level with number, size of organism, and also the value of transferred energy. So explain each of the relationship. So trophic level increase, number of organism decrease. Trophic level increase, the biomass per unit area decrease. Trophic level increase, the value of energy decreases. Okay, so state the importance of mangrove from the aspect of security, where it can react as a natural barrier towards a strong wind and waves, or the habitat for various animal species, as a source of income, where for fishermen, who catch the sea product or the raw substances for charcoal production. Tourism, it can be a resting place for migratory birds, which attract tourists. And education is a site to carry out the ecosystem study or research. Okay. Migratory birds means that those birds that can migrate，就是那种季候鸟啊，它会换地方的那种。OK， yeah. Any questions？ 世豪，没有啊？你们还有其他问题啊 ？No. Okay, if not, then I think I will stop here for today. Okay. Remember, tomorrow same time, we got classes as well. Okay. So see you. Bye bye. 好，拜拜。